Guy Torry, I appreciate you getting all dressed up.
Hey man, you
brother.
know, a little something, roll. Come on, gotta represent.
But why you got the button all the way up to the neck? It ain't like you got chest hair. You trying not to show?
Well, I'm trying to have no neck like you, Roland.
No, well, first of all, you know, it don't matter because guess what? There's neck, there's brain. Everybody ain't able. Everybody ain't able. You know, some folk wish they had all of this. Good looks and knowledge. Hey, oh, man. Come on now.
I should be so lucky.
Yeah, you should be so lucky. Don't blame me, blame who you birthed you.
Hey, man.
Don't.
You climb back up in there and come back out again. Let me get a redo. Let me get what they call a mulligan. Let me get a mulligan.
I couldn't pick y'all.
Right. Let me get a mulligan.
You know what kills me when people say stupid? People see my parents and I post them. They like, man, you look like both your parents.
Duh.
Well, who the hell am I supposed to look like?
Well, you know, in the black community, you know, sometimes the parents don't match.
No, all my shit match.
Your parents, but a lot
all my stuff match.
There's a lot of remarriages done.
Man, so, let me tell you something. First of all, it wasn't funny because I think my dad literally, if he was not a true man of peace, he was gonna probably choke the shit out of this woman. we were at this event and we're sitting at the table, man. And I don't know what, we know who the hell this woman was, but he had said something about wife, kids, and she goes, well, you sure you don't have any other kids?
Wow.
My dad went,
wow.
What did you say?
Yeah, he should.
Now see, that look,
yeah.
I know that look.
Yeah, you grew up with that look.
I looked at her like, oh shit, like, oh, this about to go.
Take your dentures out.
Right, this about to go sideways. So I had to I said, I don't know who you talking to, but
right.
My dad was like, no.
I got
he said, no, this how he started. Now, lady, see when the black man started. Now, lady, right there, I knew. So I had I'm gonna need y'all to move this woman to the table because there's about to be some furniture moving up in here. She actually threw that out there like that.
Disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah. She was implying she was trying to start something.
Oh, she was trying to start something.
She's trying to start something.
No, she's about to end something.
Yeah, her life.
She's about to end something. Well, you know, because it trips me out. Like I'll meet people and they'll say, "What? You don't have kids?" I'm like, yeah, there's a black man who's 52 who does not have kids.
Right.
Yes.
Who could have kids and could have every one of them.
Right. You know, and then I had this one, and church people
Kids
trip.
overrated anyway, but go ahead.
Church people trip. Okay, they really trip. And so we had church, and this one, it's probably the first 2-3 years we were married. And now we at church, and she pressing about ain't no baby in the bun. Y'all not gonna have kids, And so I answered the question. My wife Jackie, she answered the question. So we trying to be all cordial, and she keep pressing.
Right.
And she keep pressing.
Right.
Finally, I'm like, hey, we fucking.
Ain't nothing wrong with the equipment.
Now let's be clear, okay? Now, if God wants to have kids, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But we fucking.
That part.
And now Jack was like,
that part.
I was like, look, I tried to answer the question.
Nicely.
The church way.
Yes.
I tried to answer nicely.
Yes.
Calmly, professionally. But she kept bugging. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and make it plain.
Bust in the head with words. See, that's the thing. Everybody wants you to have kids until it's time to babysit. Then they go scatter. Yeah, okay, no.
Yeah, but I just needed her to understand. And I don't get that. I've never asked somebody
when y'all gonna have a kid.
When y'all gonna have kids, or
none of your business.
or when you get married, when you go settle down. Matter of fact, I don't even. Do you have friends who say, "Hey, guy, can you introduce me to some of your friends?" I don't even do that.
No, I know. Look, I know my friends. You won't be none of my damn friends. Trust me, I know them heathens. I wouldn't do that to any woman.
I just don't even. I don't even. Look, I ain't playing no love connection.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Every time I did it didn't go right. Right? I did with Nick Cannon years ago, and that didn't go right. With Selena, I did it with.
Well, I mean, we talking about Nick. I mean, what? When you say it didn't go right, what? She didn't have a baby?
Well, no, I mean, they got married. Well, he didn't get married, but it didn't work out. Ali's daughter, and her first
Layla Ali.
didn't work out. Layla, and it didn't work out. So
you
know
saying
what?
I'm retired from the matchmaking business.
I'm good.
Yeah, I tell people, don't even ask me.
I'm good.
Like, Roland, you don't have any note?
Yep.
I let them get it out their mouth.
Nope, ain't got it.
No.
No.
You ain't getting a frat, but no.
Because I ain't trying to be caught in the middle either. You know, I ain't trying to, because now that splits the friendship, it ain't gonna happen. And that happened. I tell my cats, you can't fuck within the circle. And we got a group of friends, we hanging out, and there's, co-ed. Because once you try to smash somebody in the circle, it don't go right, messes up the whole circle. So now somebody don't want to come around when they don't want to come around. And now we gotta be deprived of the fun of one friend because y'all done smashed and it didn't go right. It happens.
Right. Well, no, that's how it was, in our fraternity chapter.
Yeah.
Now you don't get in the way of the brotherhood. You don't sit here and in fact, way it went down with us is, if you were interested in dating a sister who dated another brother,
right,
you had to go to that brother and seek permission.
Woo.
Oh yeah. No. Because the whole deal was your same thing. We ain't letting anything get in the way of the brotherhood.
Right.
And that's just, and again, that is just some things that you don't do, because just what you said, you value the close knit, you value the camaraderie,
Absolutely.
You value that, and when you do that, that brings drama.
Man, it
and
brings drama.
Everything else.
Yeah, me and my boys in St. Louis, we had a pact, man. We don't mess with anyone's, current, past, or even somebody interested in. We don't do it.
Right.
Just don't do it. It's respect. But LA, they got a different code. Dude, they live by a different code out here.
Really?
They'll go after your wife behind your back. Trust me.
Which one of them Jacksons married the ex-wife of the brother?
Jacksons or the DeBarges?
I don't know. It could be both. But I know. I know the Jacksons. One of them married the ex-wife of another brother.
Another brother.
Dog.
Yeah.
That would not.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't want shit Joe been up here. No offense, there's no disrespect to the women. It's Joe. I'm tired of coming behind Joe in life, period. I ain't damn sure ain't trying to come behind Joe in the bedroom.
Okay, y'all go at it, and
like we ain't got the same parents.
Right. Right. It's like y'all got different parents. So people ask me, they like, okay, do Guy and Joe, do they get along? Is that an act? People ask me that.
Yeah, man. Our family reunions are funerals. Usually, that's the only side.
Family reunions are funerals.
See, at the funeral when somebody passed away. No, we have our seasons, man. It's actually seasonal. It depends on,
Why?
I'm tripolar because Joe's Joe. Let's just be honest. Joe's Joe. Period. I don't say anything else. Anybody who know Joe know what the hell I'm talking about. Joe's Joe.
Okay, you say you tripolar.
I'm tripolar, so I have to adjust which move's gonna deal with Joe. Joe is just Joe's Joe all the time. That's a problem.
Why is that? But it's like, if that's just who he is.
Right, and that's what I had to accept. I had to accept that, you know what? That's who he is. You can't get blood out of a turnip. You ain't gonna get nothing other than Joe.
So what's the age difference between y'all?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
All right. So was it like that growing up?
No. I didn't get like that until I moved out. When I first moved to LA, me and Joe lived together, right? And that was a big blessing because I didn't have to worry about paying rent.
Right.
Out here struggling, doing my thing, and that was a big, big help. And then when I moved out, I think that's when I saw the division, because I think Joe felt like I didn't need him anymore. Right. And it wasn't that. It was like, I'm a grown-ass man. 2 grown-ass men.
Actually, that is true. You don't need him anymore.
Right.
When you grow up, first of all, when you grow up, it's like, hey, you help, and this time you get your ass on out the house and go do your own thing.
Right. He didn't want me to move out. But I'm like, you know what? At the time when I moved out.
I mean, what? Were you paying a light bill?
I wasn't paying anything. And I said, you know what? I need this responsibility. It's going to make me work harder at my career if I know I got rent to pay, I got bills to pay. I was paying a cell phone bill, that was it. Right. No, but Joe was treating me like a little butler, because so I'm telling you, I was like Benson. And I'm telling you, man.
Please fetch me some water.
He was using Jedi mind tricks. Yo, man, you still make them good grilled cheese sandwiches you made when you was little? Yeah, man. No, you don't. You know, next thing I'm at the stove. Flipping.
Like I'm gonna show his ass.
Yeah, exactly. And then it dawned on me, this nigga done tricked me. He done tricked me again. Got me again. But yeah, so I think that's when kind of the division or the angst started, man. When I moved out and then I started working after. I think that's when it started.
See, that's just, my whole deal is, well, and obviously that's different because you're also in the same space.
Right,
You're in the same industry, you're sort of and so you got that going on, and people always talk about, sibling rivalries as well, but it's just like, for me, knowing both of y'all, and then talking to both of y'all, and when the other name come up, it's like,
damn. Yeah, like Dark Cloud.
Right. And I'm like, what's up?
It's Dark Cloud for sure, man. Yeah, it's yeah. And I keep the peace because of mom.
Now, has your mama had to sit, like, look, I need to sit y'all two down.
You know what? She hasn't at the same time, but she says, oh, I'm praying for y'all. She get the little Terrence Howard shaky voice. Oh, I'm praying for y'all. Lord have mercy, I'm praying for you. Pray for Joe. That's Satan.
That's cold. They say that's Satan. That's cold. That's cold. Cold-blooded. So we will never see a Torry and Torry like law firm project.
Oh, let me say something. There's been several. Wait till the Fat Tuesday documentary come out. There's been several people who've been trying to do stuff with Joe and I, and it just did not work.
Are y'all like Sam Jackson and Bernie Mac and was it Soul Man? Whatever that brother.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. It's definitely like that. It for real. Like we've been in pitch rooms, man, and the fake animosity turned into real animosity. You got to show the conflict, right? It got too real for Hollywood.
So there'll be no Real Brothers of Hollywood.
No, it'll be one episode.
It'd be like the Richard Pryor show.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be a presentation, and then that's it. Like I don't think we're making past the sizzle.
Damn, y'all wouldn't even do the pilot. You said
no. Yeah, it wouldn't make it to the
y'all
pilot.
wouldn't even get to the pilot.
In the sizzle, it would sizzle out.
Damn.
The sizzle would fizzle.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
That is crazy.
Got a lot of zeros. Got a lot of zeros behind that thing, and it gotta be the right project for us to come together with.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is crazy.
And I'm not shy about saying that.
That is crazy.
I'm not into the whole hiding the family. Oh, we love. Nah, I just keep it 100.
So y'all love each other, but
we don't like each other. That's it. We love each other.
Love each other, but don't like each other.
That is. It's like spy versus spy. One of us. I'm never trying to sabotage Joe, but there's some sabotaging going on the other side.
Man.
I'm Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show, Get Wealthy, focuses on the things that your financial advisor and bank isn't telling you, but you absolutely need to know. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
You and I had this conversation. What's up with you and fighting?
What do you mean me and fighting, man?
Because you.
I'm a lover.
No, what was it? We were talking. You were like, yeah, I will fight somebody. You said that was a period where you would somebody would tick you off.
Oh man.
And y'all would just.
Oh yeah, I got triggers.
Like what in a podcast or something?
Oh yeah. That was unstable. The podcast was called Unstable.
Cause we were talking and you were like, man, we went from this. The next thing I know,
fought two members. Yeah.
Like physical.
Yeah, fisticuffs. Yeah, straight up like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Yeah, it was. You know what, Roland.
Is that back to that tripolar? Is that what it was?
That wasn't tripolar. That was short man complex. that was me being you know how it is with comedians, man. We with radio, with TV,
right.
You gotta go.
Right.
You're in there, and sometimes you're gonna say what's on your mind, and sometimes, a lot of times, I say it at the wrong time. It happened at NBA Entertainment League. I was playing basketball, and people know that I talk. Right. Joan and everybody. Well, one particular time we playing a game, and the dude who was shooting free throws, I said a joke about his mom, my mama joke, and I didn't know his mom had just passed away.
Right.
And like recent, and he snapped, and I had a Ron Artest moment. But it was just bad timing on what I said.
But you also didn't know.
I didn't know. But then when the story got back around, it was like, I knew, and I said I didn't give a damn. Like, that was far from the truth. So with the podcast, same thing. It was, I told my co-host, I'm going to hit you with a topic. We're going to keep it fresh on radio. Can you handle that? Yes. Boom. I hit him with this thing, and he snapped. And he apologized later, and we cool now. Ain't as cool as we used to be. Let's keep it 1,000. Because once you go fisticuffs, the friendship changes. It just does. So it's bad timing on my part, and maybe a bad reaction on his part, and we fought, and it made the podcast a little tough after that. But it was still fun. We still were professionals,
right?
And showed up and did our thing, but it just wasn't the same. It kind of did mess up the chemistry a little bit.
So how?
That was just two of the most recent.
Right, two of the most recent fights.
I fought my neighbor not too long ago too, last year. Yeah, that was another shorter guy.
So when you talk about let's talk about
fought
time.
the police a couple times too, but go ahead. Yeah.
we talk about timing. We're now operating in where a lot of comedians are just not feeling this era we're in now, with social media, with people with phones, and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
And and I've been one of the people that has always said that that if there's any place that has to remain pure and unfiltered, it's absolutely the comedy stage.
Absolutely.
Because I don't. Like folks sit here, like with these college campuses and other people, and this is the way I look at it. And this woman literally told me, and I said, I'm sorry. I go to a comedy show fully expecting everybody to get talked about. I said, I'm not going to a keynote speech.
Right.
Like, I know what I'm going to.
Right.
So I'm not sensitive. I mean, I really don't. I don't.
It's funny you say that. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had an old black man try to rush the stage and whoop my ass. I was in, what was I, Virginia Beach? I think I was in Virginia Beach. And I was asking the gentleman, had he had his prostate exam yet? Because I do, in my act, I like, with that platform, I want to make sure black men go to the doctor.
Right.
Black men don't go to the doctor.
Right.
Right? So I was saying about how I had my prostate exam. Sir, have you had yours? His wife was like speaking for him and loud. And I was like, ma'am, I'm asking the gentleman. And she just kept going on loud. I said, ma'am. And I did the old Robert Harris joke, somebody please put something in my mouth, my zipper stuck.
Right.
And then 5 minutes later, I guess it sunk in later, because I'm in the middle of another joke, and he gets up and, you remember the scene from New Jack City when the old man was like, Nino!
Right.
He came to the stage like, don't ever tell my wife to suck your dick again. I'm like, what? That was 5 minutes ago. Did that just hit you? Don't ever tell my wife. I'm like, sir, I was trying to be nice and da-da-da. And
you're like, but she wouldn't shut up.
She wouldn't shut. And I didn't even say it. I just motioned down here. I didn't even say it.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I implied it. And it was just like, yo, you had a comedy show. She was disrupting the show to the point to where, like, people were like, hey, ma'am, calm down, be quiet. And she didn't, so I went there, and then it sunk in later, and I had the whole table put out. And I normally don't do that, but the young guy at the table, I thought it was his father. It wasn't. He was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I said, maybe his blood sugar high or low. Maybe he need to eat a Snickers candy bar. He just snapped. But this whole culture of, cancel culture, man, only two people can cancel me, God and myself. If my fan base rock with me, if I flub and make it say something that's sideways, you're not going to judge my whole 29-year career off of one joke or one flub line.
Right.
And we had a guy in office who had a whole bunch of bullshit going on, and he still was elected and still, unfortunately, relevant to this day. So I saw Damon Wayans not too long ago, man, in Miami at the Improv, and he was just, man, funny, raw, uncut, truthful, and I was just like, what? That's stand-up comedy.
Right.
That's that shit, the reason why we got into it. Lenny Bruce's, the Richard Pryors, Chris Rock's. And I said, I told him that, Paul Mooney. I told him that, I said, hey man, that shit was, he said, man, he had a conversation with Chappelle, and they said, this cancel culture thing is getting crazy, and we got to take the mic back. And I was like, yeah. And it needs to be more comedians who just, I think what got lost, Roland, is the intent. Sometimes you can say something that's vulgar, and then the intent behind it is to da-da-da. But when we do stuff, the intent is just fun and games, having fun, joking about it. No one's safe.
Because I had a woman
it's
who...
It's the intent that gets lost.
I had a woman who, we were discussing this, and she said, yeah, but why do they have to get personal? I said, that's what it is. And I started walking through. I told her, I said, you ever seen Don Rickles?
Woo!
I said, Don Rickles insulted everybody.
Everybody. We say in St. Louis.
Did not matter. Everybody. He insulted everybody. I said, Don Rickles was funny as hell.
Yeah. And his best friend was a black guy.
I said, now, that was his act.
That was his stick.
I said, if you went to a Don Rickles show.
Don't be sensitive. I opened my show with that. I say, look, I'm uncut, unplugged. If you're sensitive, this ain't the show for you.
Yeah,
I just ass emails and comment cards, and cancel him. Cancel these nuts. I'm sorry. You ain't canceling me.
It bothers me, man, because I get it. I get, to your point, you get what the point is. The point is, and like I said something before, I said, comedians say stuff that we really want to say, that we can't say, but the point is, it's a lot of stuff comedians say that's truthful as hell.
Right.
But they make it funny.
Right.
And we laugh because we also
think the same thing.
Right. And I'm like,
First of all, you gotta understand comedians. Most of us are dark, twisted individuals on the inside. Something's wrong with us on the inside. We're broken. We do comedy because we want people to laugh with us. We need that. Whatever void that is that we have, we want that filled with laughter. A lot of us make a lot of people laugh, but we don't laugh ourselves. So it's therapy for us. We do comedy to bring laughter, to bring light to our dark insides. That's why you see some comedians with depression, so many comedians on drugs, comedian overdose or whatever. We're dark creatures, but that dark, our comedy brings light to that darkness. It gives us a little bit of light when we see an audience laughing, or we make even one person laugh. That's good for us, and we're kind of control freaks. Right? We want to control. I heard a statement when it says we do comedy because we're so afraid of getting laughed at. We do stand-up to control the laughter. And a lot of that is true for most comedians. I know it's true for me. I'm just gonna be honest. I can't speak for every other comedian, but as you analyze and look at comedians and talk to them, our community, it's like that. That's why comedians, can make such great dramatic actors if they take their comedy ego out the way and allow them to tap into that dark side. When you see comedians do dramatic work, I'm not surprised that they're good dramatically. It's a lot of my work has been dramatic more than comedy. You look at Richard Pryor, who has some dramatic work when you look at his stuff. You look at Eddie Murphy. Yep. People thought, Dreamgirls was the first time they saw Eddie dramatic. No, in the movie Life, Cicely Tyson was in Life. She got completely cut out. There's some scenes, she played Eddie Murphy's mom. There's some scenes in that movie where her and Eddie go off and they talk, and this is before Dreamgirls, and I was like, wow, Eddie got some I didn't know he had that. I knew he had range because he was characters, but he went deep with that. I was like, wow.
Well, you Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Billy Crystal, even Kevin Hart.
Right,
I did a
and
movie
that's-
with Kevin Hart, independent movie. Russ Parr, a syndicated radio DJ, did a movie called The Last Stand. And Kevin Hart plays this comic who's a ventriloquist who has a meltdown with his dummy. And back then I said, ooh, if Kevin ever decides to go dramatic, which he did in a recent movie he released, he's gonna be tight because he was able to take his comedy ego and tap into that dark side, and that's what we have to do, you know. And then that's what makes, you know, comedians who act, who make themselves vulnerable, great actors. Marlon Wayans, another one who taps into that dark side, and does great work.
The
Whoopi Goldberg,
Yep. The
Monique.
Yeah,
You know, which is impressive.
Yep, absolutely.
Funny, but it was able to tap into that dark side.
The art of, not the art, the science. When you talk about the craft, one of the things that I've had other conversations with comedians, what drives them crazy, and we saw this a lot with the second iteration of Def Jam, and knowing you probably try to blame it on Joe.
What?
When you had,
No, Joe was great.
When you had this generation of comedians who just came out just cussing, and there was nothing there. It was, and I remember who was I talking to? We was a group of us, and several comedians, and they were saying that's not comedy.
Right.
That you've got to put the work in the
Right.
craft. When you came to the DC Improv, we were talking backstage, and,
That's right.
and you went on with this big ass legal pad.
Uh-huh.
And your pen, and you said, "All right, y'all, let y'all know I'm working through some stuff."
Right.
So if I go back and look at my notepad, just understand that.
Right.
So, walk us through what is your process in terms of, it's not just like, oh, just pops into a head. What is your process as you are putting your thing together, putting your routine together, your act together? How you going through that?
Well, first of all, I used to never come on stage with a notepad. And I thought, you know, even in a comedy club, I mean, that's the show. You do that work before you get there. But then I saw some of my heroes do it. And I'm like, whoa, I saw Robin Williams do it at the Comedy Store. I saw George Carlin do it at the Comedy Store. I saw Dick Gregory do it in a live show, taping a show, and he had his notepad. And I'm like, wow. And then Dion Cole, he made it popular back on Def Jam back in the day when we used to do the whole check off thing.
Right.
That was he killed with that. So I've seen those. I'm like, you know what? It's okay.
Right.
It's okay if these greats done it.
Well, hell, TV anchors have no cards
That's true.
with the questions on it.
That's true. So I started doing that, and it also people got to understand what a comedy club is. Comedy club is the gym. That's where you go work out. That's where you work out that stuff that you're trying out and trimming the fat off of a joke or putting more on top of a joke. And that's the gym. That's where you work it out. Then you go to these other platforms, these streaming networks, you know, and Amazon Prime or the other competitors, because I'm Amazon Prime guy. I got messed that money up.
Drop.
These other platforms, all those late night shows, the talk shows at night. That's the gym. That's the beach. That's when you take your shirt off and you flex a little bit. But in the comedy clubs, that's the nuts and bolts. You know, the Laugh Factory is called Laugh Factory for a reason. Because what do you do in factories? You build shit.
Right.
And that's what comedy clubs are. We're building our act. Some people confuse a comedy club show with a theater show or an arena show.
Got it.
You know, they're not the same.
Are the only bins that will accommodate larger rollerboards.
They put 10 in here?
10, and you don't come out till you die.
And you eat him, you hoop him.
Oh my God. Chris Rock told the New York Times what he hated about folks who would tape shows at a comedy club. He said, you don't understand. He said, we're polishing the joke.
Right.
We're working it through. He said, I might do a number of shows and that joke might just
not be
I
ready
might be
yet.
20-25% there.
Yeah.
So you're commenting on something
That's not
that I
ready.
haven't finished building yet.
That's like ugly babies. There's some ugly babies out there. You can't. That ugly baby may grow up to be beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I've actually said, that's the ugly ass baby. Like, don't.
Right, but you know, but
ain't the
potential.
baby cute?
But you gotta understand, the baby ain't grew into his features and face yet. So our acts are ugly babies, period. But the other thing is, and one further what Chris Rock said is, if we're doing a bit and we're working on it, and you go post it, and it goes viral, whether it's good or bad, when we do our special for that network or that streaming platform, they're not gonna want that joke. So now I gotta take that joke out of my set because it's been seen already.
Right.
It went viral already. So now that joke really probably connected my whole set. So now I gotta take that out, and now it messes with your set.
So in many ways, it's sort of like, well, it used to be when artists put albums together.
Right.
So the flow of the song, the
Flow of an album.
Work for a certain reason. The same way a preacher constructs a sermon.
Same thing with stand-up shows should be most. It's the difference between a comic and a comedian, right?
So I was going to ask you that because go ahead.
A comic says funny things. A comedian makes things funny. You know, when you go to a comedy show, you want to leave with a piece of that comedian. You want to take a piece of that comedian home with you. Mm-hmm. You know, you want that comedian to be transparent and vulnerable and let you in. Comedians do that. Comics are just set up punch. You know nothing about them. Mm-hmm. You laughed the whole time. You had a good time at the show.
Right.
But then you don't know who that person is. A comedian takes his life or takes situations and make them funny. Back to Eddie Murphy, you know, Kevin Hart. These are comedians I've worked with. Martin. These comedians I've worked with acting-wise, right? And I've seen what was in that script. I've seen how those words are written on that page, right? And they take those words, and what they do to it, they make it funny as hell. That's
right.
A comedian. That's someone who took somebody else's writing and put it's like a basketball. You know, you give me a basketball, it's a basketball. Give that same basketball to Michael Jordan. That same ball.
Right.
That basketball in his hands is something totally different. So sometimes with those guys, and then with me a little bit when I ad-lib, and Cedric is the same way when you ad-lib, and Bernie was just, in the movie Light, Bernie was just the king at it. They take words on a page and they stank on it. And they made it funny. Some people you don't have to write funny for.
Right.
They gonna find it, or you write it and they gonna find the funny.
Right.
You know, so my process is I write a lot. I write word for word, and then I go through and I bullet point it, then I may study it, and then I go on stage and I'll just have the topics then. So I can look back and see what flows. So my process is that. And everybody's process is different. Yeah. You know, like rappers, you say Jay-Z never written anything down, or Biggie didn't write anything down. Some rappers got to go in there with the pad. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right. So it depends on how your brain works, how you like to work, how you process information, and if it's your story, you don't have to write too much down anyway.
See, when you made that point about
comics and comedians.
Comics and comedians. So we first met when you dropped by George Lopez's show. Yeah. And George, for 2 years, George asked me to host it. And came off of you like, your ass funny.
Like, I knew you before then. I never seen you do stand-up.
But I wasn't even doing stand-up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a show. We met long before that. But I saw you on stage for the first time. Of course, seeing you in the Tom Jones.
Right, it was a theater. It was a theater.
It was downtown LA. It's an Orpheum
right.
Theater. And DL was on the show. You was on the show.
And Georgia said, "Hey, I want you to be the host." I was like, "All right."
I didn't expect it.
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Roland Martin." and everybody was around me like, "Yeah, we know," like, because you wasn't on the ticket.
No.
Right. And you came out there and you slayed the audience. I was like, "Oh snap, okay." And I came backstage and I told you, I was like, "Yo." But it was a great. Arsenio was on the show. Everybody killed from top to bottom.
Well, see, the thing that what I tell people is, is it's sort of like because again, emceeing. I've emceed banquets.
Right.
The purpose of the MC in the banquet, one, to keep that show moving.
Keep it moving.
Keep it going. But also, you gotta be smart enough and quick enough to know when something was weak, when something was bomb, when something happened, the music not right, the choir not ready, the awards that got lost or whatever. And so you are totally operating without a net.
Yes.
And there's some people who are TV anchors, or there's some people who I've seen, like a lot of people think every comedian can MC. No.
No, sir. I've seen it.
Because it's, when you're doing that, it's a lot of stuff that comes up that you have no control over.
Right.
But your job is to keep that whole thing together.
Right.
And people will sit here, man, and they'll be like, how in the hell where in the hell did that come from? I'm like, yo, I can't tell you.
So you as an MC, you're quarterbacking the show.
Absolutely.
You're because sometimes you have to read the audience, and you may have a certain list of things you want to talk about, but you got to read the room, and you got to be able to Omaha out that bitch, like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You got to be able to. You see the defense giving you something strange, or you see the audience not going in a certain direction. You got to Omaha and switch gears still keep it on point and make it seamless.
I got to. We did a deal. It was CBC, and Henry over there. Henry was shooting, bruh. They had me MC this evening. It was the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, ALC, and it was the Michigan party. So they had this award ceremony and stuff.
And those are hard to do.
And dude, it was...
When black people get dressed in tuxedos, it changes them.
Bruh, didn't care.
They did. I know, but I'm saying to them, they booty hole tighten up.
Didn't care.
They're stupid now.
We sitting in this bad boy, sitting in this joint, and it was an arena, because after us, it was either Johnny or Eric Benet performing after that. So man, we sitting there.
Eric had his shoes on?
And they,
Okay.
He wasn't like Layla. He wasn't like Layla Hathaway. She never got her shoes on. So man, we sitting there. So they forgot the awards. They forgot the awards.
So this is an award show.
They were handing out awards.
And they forgot the actual awards.
The actual awards. Bruh, that was gold.
Yes. Yes.
Do you know I stayed with that bit the whole
through line.
Bruh, it was at every. Then they handed us. They had some lanyards.
Right.
And they were like some blinged out lanyards. And I'm like, yo, bring me 6 of those lanyards. These are gonna be the awards we're gonna hand out to each recipient. I'm dude. And the audience is like now the dude who's over the event like is bugging because he's like, it's embarrassing us, whatever.
No.
So there was like a break or something. So he pulls me back and he's like, can you not mention the awards?
Down.
Can you not mention the awards? This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And you know exactly what happened.
Exactly.
When I went out I said,
they told me.
Let me tell y'all what just happened. My man pulled me to the back and said, I can't talk about who forgot the awards. I said, now we got 3 car companies here that sponsored it, and y'all could have driven the awards here from Detroit in a Chrysler, a Cadillac, or
a Buick.
Doc, I was sitting, man, Henry, to this day, Henry would start crying.
Yo, man.
Remember, because he was on camera shooting it. Dude, and it was just one of those things where when you get in that pocket.
Ooh.
Dog.
Ooh. Say it again.
When you get in that pocket, dude, that was, I'm talking about, I was slaying everything.
There's no better space. It's better than a wet spot.
And again, the people don't understand that, and again, I am not trying to be you.
Right.
And that's the
Be
piece.
yourself, and you're just naturally funny.
So it's just like, okay, if you got timing, if you understand body movement, facial expressions, throw a certain look, whatever. It's using all of that.
Reading the room.
Because the point is, I need to make look. Y'all forgot the awards.
Come on now, that's a comedian's dream.
I mean, you forgot.
That's conflict.
You
that's
right.
That's what
we
made
got
us
to
do what
make
we do.
light
of a dark situation.
Of the awards.
It was a dark situation. We made light of it. That's comedy.
Every time. And I'm telling you, every time.
Comedy is a straight line that drops off when you don't expect it. Comedy, if you can see it coming, then it's not funny.
Dude,
when you drop it off, they weren't expecting that.
No, they weren't expecting. I've done some stuff. I did EOC, Executive Leadership Council. You talking about tight asses.
Ooh,
just tight. And it was like 3,000 people. Okay.
Tuxedos.
So all that. So these are all the black corporate people. Yeah. Now what's crazy is I destroyed that stage. Now I don't know why they invited me back. Cause I know for a fact I destroyed the stage. But it was one of those things that, man, they had a rehearsal. I was like, no, I don't go to rehearsal.
Yeah. I'll go look at the set.
I don't even do that.
I'm good.
I don't even need that. Like, seriously. But when I give keynote speeches, they say, you want to see our auditorium? Nope.
There's comedians who are like
they
that.
They said,
too.
do you want to see? I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, they say, handheld, headset, don't matter.
Yeah.
Because my whole deal is, I know what I'm doing.
You're going to do you.
What?
You know what's like that is Keenan, Ivan Wayans. I was at the Improv one night in Hollywood, and show was going on, and he was standing outside. I said, you want to go in there and see what the other comedians talk about? I said, no. I like to go into a room fresh with my own perspective. I don't want to be influenced by anything. Boom. Keenan, and that's why he's one of our great stars.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
When I talked about process, people think I'm lying when I tell them I don't write speeches.
I can believe it.
Just tell me how much time I got.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
And I gave a speech in Miami, and this woman came up to me, she said, oh my God, she says, I own a black newspaper, we want to print the entire speech. I said, well, y'all got transcribed that son bitch.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I said, that wasn't written.
Yeah.
She said, well, did you have notes? Nope. She was like, I said, I ain't even write the title down on the index card.
See, and
she was like, well, I said, you got to transcribe. I recorded it. I said, I sent you the audio file. I said, but baby, wasn't none of that written.
I did a stand-up show, competition show years ago, which I regret doing it. I never should have. I got talking to it. I should have went with my first mind, right? It was on a major network, all right? And before one of the tapings, they wanted us to write our set out. 3 weeks before the taping, they wanted to write our set out word for word and email it to them. I'm like, what? I said, okay, I'll do it. But in those 3 weeks, actually one of those weeks is when I saw you when you came to the show in DC Improv. It was the week before I was working on that set. The same set I sent them.
Right.
I worked on it, trimmed the fat off, changed a couple of, same set, I just changed, made some stronger punchlines, blah, blah, blah. So I emailed the network a couple of days before and said, hey, I just want you to know I'm doing the same set, I just changed a couple of things. And I sent them the new, some of the new stuff. And because as you're a stand-up, stuff just come. You don't stick to the script.
Right.
So they said no. They sent me an email back saying no. You have to do exactly what you sent us the first time. I said yeah, but I've been on the road for 3 weeks. I tightened it up. I made it funnier. I made it better. Stick to the script or you won't air. And I emailed back. I guess I won't air. So when I went and did the show, I did it my way, the way I changed it, the funny way. And by the time it aired, they edited that shit so crazy and had my set looking like disjointed jokes and punchlines and took the new stuff out and I was just like, wow.
That makes no sense.
Wow.
See, that's the thing, man.
Major network too.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's that's the problem when you have folks who want to be so scripted. Like my show, when I went to CNN, we sat down and they said, so we do a show, let's lay out the concept. I said, it's a very easy concept. I said, it's a very easy concept. They were like, what? I said, it won't even take up the full page. I said, this is a scripted, unscripted show.
Yeah.
And they were like,
very loosely scripted.
and they said, what is that? I said, what it is we have a script, it's a guide.
Yeah.
I said, and if shit changes, or if I decide to flow somewhere else, I said, that's the unscripted part.
Be in the moment.
I said, if we're sitting here, like if we're sitting here having a conversation and you said, and I've literally done this in interviews. I've done this in interviews where someone will say something, man, I would love to work with so-and-so. But I've never met him, or I would love him. And I would sit here. When Rance Allen, I interviewed Rance Allen in D.C. And Rance Allen said, man, I would just love, he said, to do something with Eddie Levert.
Yeah, Eddie's the coolest too.
In the middle, call Eddie. Johnny Gill said, man, he said, I want to do a Christmas album, a gospel album. And he said, I said, well, who you want to do the gospel album? He said, Kirk Franklin, John P. Key. I said, oh, wow. Have you ever talked about him? He said, yeah, man, Kirk. He said, I never met John P. Key. So I said, literally, in the middle of the interview, Anthony, go get my phone. Because I had him offset. Go get my phone. Now, most folks like stop. No.
Yeah, right.
It's organic.
Right.
Get my phone. I FaceTime John P. Key right there.
Beat that.
That's the thing that makes, and Johnny was like, is this fool sitting there? He actually,
right. Are we live?
He actually FaceTime it, and like in the middle. Right. First of all, my show, I own it, so it ain't like I got an executive going, Roland, that ain't right. But that's the thing, man, that people have to understand. You let folk flow and do what they do, and they're going to deliver.
Yes.
You just got to get the hell out the way.
Yes, that's the key. And a lot of hosts don't know how to host, and they're in the way. It's about them. It's never about you. It's always about the guest, but you're there to guide.
That's it.
The guide.
And the audience.
Right.
Because the thing is, see, for my whole deal is, whether it's a banquet, whether I'm the keynote. That's why, like, every time before I start my speeches, it's literally 5 to 10 minutes of joking.
Right. Yeah, you break the ice.
Because see, what happens is, you got this whole program, it's probably boring as hell.
Yep.
Then they go through this long intro, and I'm like, I don't know why y'all reading all that shit. I said it's in the program.
Right.
So no, we got to read.
Right.
And so it's the whole setup. And so now everybody's like, okay, now it's time for the keynote speech.
Right.
And I get up there and just act a fool for about 5-8 minutes. And then go into the speech because I want to break them up. I want them laughing. I being the alpha. It's always some omega or some kappa there.
Why you say sigmas?
Don't nobody think about them. Don't nobody think about them. Them and iotas. Don't nobody think about them. They get a little attitude. They got mad at me. We was shooting something backstage. My Washington Watch show. Armstrong Williams, big time black conservative. Armstrong was a Sigma. So Jeff Johnson was there with his dad, may rest in peace. Yeah. And Jeff Johnson's dad was an alpha. Jeff is now an alpha, but he wasn't one then. Right. So Armstrong, Jeff said, hey, want you to meet my pops? He said, he's an alpha. So, we grip. And so Armstrong was he said, oh, really, you an alpha? Both y'all alphas? I'm a Sigma. And I said, and we had this thing called the black room, and we had the camera running. And he said that, I was like, I ain't never met many Sigmas under 55. Dog, that for like 2-3 years, Sigmas, man, be tweeting me, man, that shit was wrong. That shit was wrong. And I was like, well, y'all relax. I said, it's the Greek dozens. Right. I'm like, it's what we do. Yeah. I'm like, you just mad that joke hit, and it hit, it took the wind out of you.
So when it hit, I mean, other people think the same way.
But then when the Sigma president came on the show, he was like, now look, he said, don't you bring up that 55.
Hit a nerve.
Hit a nerve. And I was like, look. So when I give a speech, dude, when you talk about, it's the same thing. when you mentioned homegirl who was talking and the dude.
Yeah.
You pick out a few, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear your ass out tonight.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's likely gonna be a loud Omega
So we're barking.
who you about to be the foil to my intro. And I'm gonna wear your ass, dog. I'm gonna wear your ass out.
That's why you can't be so married to a script.
Dude, I can't even, Guy, I'm not lying. First of all, I don't write speeches. I don't even decide the title. I've settled on something, and they're introducing me, and they finish, and I get up. Now, mind you, I'm only 2 seats over.
Right.
And I will switch the entire thing.
Yeah.
So the
I've
ability
done
to
that.
be able just to
Stand-up.
completely just, whatever happens, I can throw that sucker out,
Yeah.
and I can just go with it.
Yeah.
But people think, and they think that you don't put the work in. No.
You put the work in.
No, I'm visualizing.
Yeah.
Because it's funny when you talk about cutting the fat off. When I go on news shows, 4 or 5 people host 8-10 minutes. You ain't got 30
You gotta
minutes.
get to the chase. Yeah, get to it.
So I'll sit here and I'll that topic. So I'll work on a phrase. I'll work on a
Signature line.
right.
Soundbite.
And I'll sit there and I'll refine it. I'll tighten it and hold it for the right moment. That becomes the viral thing.
Got it. Yeah.
And that's the thing that, and I tell people, look, everybody has, to your point, everybody has different ways of doing
Different
it.
methods to the madness.
Right, but you just gotta know how to sit here. Like my wife, she's an ordained minister.
Right.
That when she gets a sermon, she goes into like a cocoon. She got like 8-10 books. Dude, she's like, and I'm like,
I'm half of it.
and I go, what you doing? She says, oh, I'm preparing for my sermon. I said, when? She says, oh, it's in 3 weeks. I said, 3 weeks? What you doing? Doc, she got so mad at me. This church in Chicago asked me to do 3 sermons. I said, all right. So we in the car going, and she says, decide what you gonna preach about? Nope. She's like, you got your scripture? Nope. She's like, what? I was like, don't worry about it. Doc, I'm in the pulpit. They have introduced me, when I say, after the choir sings this next song, the next voice that you will hear will be Roland Martin. This choir is singing. So I'm sitting there and I'm like,
Glory, Lord.
they singing, I'm listening,
Follow me.
and I do this here.
Glory, Lord.
I did this, I went, open the Bible, click, nope. I see the scripture. I take half of the scripture, come up with the title.
See, everybody ain't like that.
And so
right?
I told her, so she sat there and I said, don't hate the gift. I said, don't hate the gift. I said,
Yeah.
the Lord provided. I said, don't hate the gift.
That's just between me, Joe and I too. Like Joe's that way too. Joe, as awesome as he is, his arrogance and confidence and talent gets him through. Where me, I'll study and then I'll throw it away so it's there, and then bam, I'll go for it.
No,
I do go into that little cocoon a little bit.
No,
I'm all about prep.
No, a lot of preachers do that. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go through all of that, and then they'll write it all out.
Right.
They'll basically lock it into memory, and then they go out. Whereas I've written 2 speeches, and I ain't read from them. I was mad as hell. I wish all that damn time. So it's just a different.
It's a gift. No, it's a gift. It's call it what it is.
And people, but I tell people though, don't think that's not work.
Right.
No.
Oh yeah.
Because every day I can be washing, I can be doing something.
But you're thinking about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
your brain I tell people that all the time. Your brain does not shut off. Creative, when you are creative, your brain does not shut off. I don't care what you're doing. Your brain is always going to be creating. If you have something you got to do, whether it be in a week, the next day, late at night, your brain is going to be thinking about it. And that's working. Right. I don't have to physically write it down. Yeah. It's working. And we do that as people who snap a lot.
Right.
We're studying.
Oh.
As soon as we meet you, we already studying. If you come at me, I know what I'm talking about.
I had a segment on News One now, and I'm gonna bring it back to my show. It's called Wild and Out Wednesday.
Yes.
And I wanted to create, because you on, Joe was on.
Joe's on,
so I wanted to create a segment, a weekly segment, to allow comedians to come on and talk about news stuff.
Right.
And just what you said. So we had comedians, they come on, and they were like, shit, man.
They
were like, this news dude here. And I was like, okay. And so, you're right. The moment, because see, now they in the green room right in there.
And you're studying.
But the moment they walk in that door, I've already assessed your suit, your tie, your shoes, your
grill.
everything. And they just sitting here, this whole, we had this one comedian, Cletus. Cletus gonna try to joke about my hairline.
His name alone is.
Right there. Joke about my hairline. And Cletus had gotten a haircut. Ooh. But his beard was still scraggly.
Beard was still weird.
And so, dude, he tried to hit the hairline. I said, well, clearly you could only afford a haircut. Dude, when I said, could you not afford the rest of it? Get a beard trim? Dude, he turned to the camera, I was like,
yeah.
And we're gonna go to break on that one.
That.
And
that's a perfect time to break too.
Boom, Arnaz J. Dude, Arnaz J walked in there, and Arnaz thought he was gonna crack on a brother.
See, here's the thing.
I mean, when you talk about fire back, it was like tat, 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 tat. They were like.
What people don't understand about us and comedians, and I'm involved you in that, is that we're like the Terminator. When we see you, we already
right.
We already do. Okay, boom. It's like you watch Sherlock Holmes, the new one with Robert Downey Jr. And before he fights. And in his mind, he's already boom, right there. Oh,
I've already played the whole fight out.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a hit. It's like wait a minute. It was like see, people understand when you walked in. First thing, I'm gonna hit his jacket.
And I was like, I got on linen.
Right. And I was like, I'm gonna hit his button all the way up.
And I'm like, he looked like a Smurf.
I'm sitting here.
A ghetto Smurf.
And I'm sitting here, then I'm like, he looked like a California raisin. And you're right. It's like the whole deal. And I'm like, he got them skinny jeans on. And Splits is like, because deal is, I know you doing the same thing.
And you know what, Roland?
And I'm gonna be prepared.
And you know what, Roland? It's all love.
Right.
It ain't bullying.
People thought
it ain't no malice.
It's like we want on Joyner.
It's what we do.
We want Joyner. People thought that they're like, man, you and guy like each other. I was like, nah, we good. I said, we gonna go.
Yeah.
I said, y'all sensitive with that. It's like cats like, oh man, your neck. I'm like, first of all, I see that coming.
Right, that's why I didn't even mention that but one time today. But that's it. You can't keep going there.
It's it's just like when people try to hit you being short.
You be all the time. And I love my shortness because short people live longer. That's what I heard.
Really?
That's my silver lining.
That's your silver lining? Yeah. Let me go call a funeral home director. Tell me.
Actually, if you Google it, it's
tell
true.
me all the half-size caskets they got. So yeah.
See, you went there.
That's
funny. No, but that was thinking outside the box. You didn't go to the normal, you went to a funeral home, to the casket, half side. Yeah,
Look, somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to do it.
I saw what you did there.
Well, you see, I live longer. Yeah. I went right there. Boom, boom. But that's the thing that people, again, don't understand.
We've gotten too sensitive as a society and confuse intent with just good old-fashioned.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
All right, so who would you, living, we'll start there, and then we'll go to who would you love to do a versus style battle? In terms of
comedy?
In terms of, it's like, okay, if the audience is there, one mic. Like when I talked to Wayne Brady said he would love to battle Jamie Foxx.
Well, yeah, because they're similar.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you, we know it ain't gonna be Joe.
Right.
But if you,
Hey, you know, me and Joe had one of those.
Okay.
We talk about it in my documentary, Fat Tuesday doc. But we had one of those, and it was ugly. We had one at the Comedy Store, at Fat Tuesdays, at our DVD release party, and Joe was being Joe, asshole, and we went at it on stage, and Joe always won. Like I would want to do it with Joe. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because Joe always won these Jonas sessions, right? And then that night, I had a nerve. And when he snapped on stage you went
below the belt?
I didn't know I was going below the belt.
No, you didn't go below the belt. You hit him in the ankles.
Dude, let me tell you. I didn't know at the time people knew what was going on. I had bought this property, a duplex, and you know, me and Joe lived next to each other. But you know, I had bought it, and Joe moved in, and
what you do? Raise the rent?
well, we were going at it. And Joe was winning. I felt Joe was winning.
Right.
I felt Joe was winning.
So
like,
you needed.
So I
said, pull a Sonny Liston, sprinkle something on my gloves, and rub it in Ali's eyes.
I said, nigga, shut up. That's why I'm your landlord. And I didn't know the audience knew that but the fucking crowd went nuts. And Chris Spencer was like, and it got to the point to where Bear, rest in peace, Michael Telefaro, Big Bear, came and picked Joe up off the stage and carried him out. Bishop Noel Jones was there that night.
He would lay hands on y'all.
He came up to the end of the stage after the show, was like, I'd never heard a preacher anything cuss before. He said, you niggas need to cut this shit out. And I was like, he cussed and said, nigga? He said, y'all leaving too much money on the table. But yeah, so if I did a versus, it would be with Joe, and I would have to go below the belt because I would just have to. I know it's gonna probably split the family and make them mad, but I would just have to. Cause we started talking about.
I mean, is it because in that setting he's so quick? Joe's
one of the best. Joe's one of the best, man. And I mean, shoot, let's be honest. A lot I learned from Joe.
Right.
You know. And everything Joe did, I did. Joe played football in high school. I played football in high school.
Got it.
And was better. Joe started acting. I started acting, and I'm better. Joe was doing stand-up, and I'm doing stand-up, and I'm better. And Joe wrestled. I wrestled. No, Joe was better. Joe was better at that. But Joe was better at that.
Now, see, remember we talking about being in the pocket. We had the OJ's golf tournament, and they was like, Roland, we need you to do the award ceremony. I was like, look, man, this is my third time y'all asked me to do something for free.
Right.
I said, y'all gonna be performing at a birthday party or anniversary party. I'm just letting y'all know that did happen. My parents' 50th anniversary, I called Ed, I was like, remember I told you they're gonna get the call.
Yes,
I said,
sir.
y'all asked me to do shit free 4 times. Y'all don't sing for free.
Yeah.
I said, so they had to do that.
Yeah.
So we were at Firestone. Dude, I went up there and I ain't give a damn. They were like, Joe, why don't you come on? Joe said, hell no, that mic too hot. Joe said, his ass. He said, I ain't walking behind that. And we laugh about that, but that's one of those things
it's respect. There's also, you got to be Kenny Rogers. Know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Come on, Joe. Joe said, he said, that mic too hot. Yeah. He said, Ro got that thing, go ahead. Yeah. But that we talking about when in the pocket.
Right.
When you just
in the pocket. I was in the pocket one time, so in Cleveland, man. Improv back in the day, man, and I had to pee bad before I went on stage. And I toughed it out for like 40, 45 minutes. But I had to pee. I was gonna pee on myself. I ain't peeing myself on stage. But I was so in the pocket, man. I said, y'all hold up. I gotta pee like a motherfucker. I put the mic down, I ran through the kitchen, went to the bathroom, came back, picked up where I left off, and they were still there, and the level never dropped, the energy never dropped.
They were waiting.
But you can only do that
Right.
when you're in a pocket. If you sitting up there and they looking at you like you took your dick out in church, you better not leave that stage because they could be popping up like toads getting up out of there.
I'm good with that visual. I'm good. I'm good.
You know, when they look at you like, you ever talk to a dog and they look at you like, they turn their head trying to understand. If you're on stage and they doing that, yeah, you better not, you ain't in the pocket. You ain't even in the suit. You ain't even a button on that mother. And something you said earlier about sound bites, man, and that's so important when you do media and you do things. And Tony Wiley, our good friend Tony Wiley, man, taught me talking sound bites. Forget all talking sound bites. Have what you're gonna say ready and just talking sound bites. And I never forgot that.
Is there so you've done a lot of stuff, but what do you really want to do that you have not done? Is there a movie? Is there a really?
Direct.
Direct
I've
what?
done dramas, I've done
direct
comedies.
What? Direct a movie, direct a comedy special, direct what?
Documentary for one. You know, Reggie Hudlin, the great Reggie Hudlin directed the Fat Tuesday doc, and standing and watching him and Byron Phillips do what they do inspired me. But I want to direct.
Okay.
I want to direct a doc, but then I also want to move into scripted. You know, I have an interesting way of pulling performances out of people, even as an actor, but even as little things I directed that wasn't produced on a mass level, but it's all about energy.
Yep.
It's about eye contact. It's all about, I've been on enough movie sets, and even when I'm not in the scene, I'm sitting back and I'm studying.
Studying, yeah.
I'm studying because I started as a PA in this business, as a production assistant on the Martin Show. So I was always back then sitting back and watching what a producer does, what a director does, what a grip does, learning everything. And you just can become a sponge, because I knew one day, I'm gonna be in that position. That's why I'm the same person I've always been, because I saw myself doing everything that I've done and more. And you gotta see it, and my faith is so strong, I ain't worried about it. It's something my mom said when my pops passed away, and I said, "Mom, you arrogant." I said, "I see what Joe gets it from, you arrogant." You know what my mom told me? What? And I didn't understand it then. I just started understanding it last year. She said, "I'm not arrogant, I'm spiritually bold." I'm like, what? How many arrogant person would say that? But then it sunk in, and spiritually bold is she had so much faith in God that she ain't worried.
Yep.
She ain't worried.
And that's hard for a lot of people to handle.
Yeah, I'm still balancing it. I still get a little anxiety, and then I'm like, wait a minute, God's in control. What you tripping off of?
Yep.
We question God like he ain't got receipts. We question God like he ain't got receipts. Like we treat God like a black man on rodeo with Louis Vuitton bags or Gucci bags. Let me see, sir, did you buy those? Nigga, I work for Louis Vuitton. What the fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? So we got to quit questioning God like he ain't got receipts. He done brought us out of so many things and brought us through so many things, but we still like, I don't know.
Right.
And we got to quit doing that.
Well, always good chopping up with you.
Yes, sir.
We only paid for 60 minutes of parking, so you got to get the hell out of here. So we got.
Damn it. Oh, that's that tow truck. Like, no, man.
All right, baby. Always.
Love you, boy.
Appreciate it.
Man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, he gonna get a photo.
Man, that was fun. I can talk for hours. Sherry. I want to take up the queen time.
3, 2, 1.
Can I jump in that picture with you?
Oh, please do.
After we done.
Did y'all take y'all?
Hold on.
3, 2, 1.
Hold on, stay right there. Hold on. We gotta get one. Only one. Hold on, Sherry.
Sherry.
Hold on, Sherry.
Why you bugging? Sherry, I need your loving.
You know about that duplex store, you was a landlord.
You said what now?